Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Wednesday, June 10th. This is episode number 350. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me tonight is my brother, Jeff. We are back from, I guess, 1 week, a little more than a week off. So kind of shaking out some cobwebs here, but brief hiatus. How things going, Jeff?
They're going good. I didn't realize this was show 150. That's kind of a big number almost.
350. Yeah, kind of big. But we're going to celebrate it by talking about big news that everybody else has already talked about. But you said 150.
Yeah.
150. That was about
150.
150 was about 5 years ago, something like that. Sorry. Anyways, so.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
we're shaking out a few cobwebs, guys.
My link's a little behind here, but I guess you had a nice trip out west.
We did. We went out for a week to see Colorado Springs. Spend some time with Ethan, our youngest, who was moving out there for a job, and we got to see some sights. We got to go to the top of Pikes Peak, and we took a ride around. I guess I don't know if it's a national park, Garden of the Gods out there, which has a lot of rock formations and stuff. It's really cool, and it's very interesting. Nice. People seem very active out there. They do a lot. You see people, exercising all the time, running, biking, doing all this crazy stuff. We went to this festival in the middle of Colorado Springs in a park, and they've got sweets everywhere. So these guys eat like crazy and they exercise. And there are breweries everywhere too. So they just, I think they just take in their calories and they work them off. But the air is cool out there. The altitude didn't bother me. Felt it a little bit at the top of Pikes Peak, but that was about it. And I'm going to talk about the beers in our Blitz Beverages segment, Jeff. I've got a little list of the favorite beers that I tried out there. So, but yeah, it was a good trip. Good trip.
Okay, cool.
So,
well, good to have you back. Good to be back on the air.
That's good to be back. Yeah. So let's find our banners here. Let's go to our Blitz Beverages, Jeff. Find our ticker.
Okay.
And there it is. That's up. And I guess we did this maybe last show, but I'm going to try to see what we can do about keeping this up. I've got some beer that I need to finish out in the fridge, trying not to buy a bunch more. So why don't you go first, Jeff, with what you're drinking, and then I'll follow that up with my beer and the list that I mentioned.
Okay. Well, I'm still working through this variety pack from Best Day Brewing. And tonight I've got a hazy IPA. Let's see if I can get that up there where you can see it.
Yeah, nice.
It's really showing up. But
kind of
anyway.
Bluish can. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, these are not really super fancy, but it tastes good.
That's all that matters. So, guys, I was gonna drink this at our last show, which we ended up not doing. If I can get in the middle there, this is a Samuel Smith India Ale, product of England. This just looks good from the bottle, the way it looks, and it's actually got a nice flavor to it. I was reading the back, and it's It's brewed with water from a well that they dug back in 1758, and they're using the same well, I guess. So it's got to be good, right? And
Wow.
it tastes good.
Hmm. Okay.
So Jeff,
Aged water.
yeah. So before I go on with that list, cheers to show number 350, Jeff. And I'm not holding it up by the camera. There it is.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, now I mentioned that I have a list here. Now the guy that took us up to the top of Pikes Peak gave us a lot of little facts, and he said that there are more breweries in Colorado Springs, Denver area, I think, than anywhere else or any other city in the world or something, or in the U.S. maybe something like 400 of them or something. So this is just a list of my favorites out of the ones I tried. I did my best to try as many as I could in a week. Okay. But I only got a small sampling. So I'm going to go backwards out of my top five. Beer number five, and this was in the airport as we were heading out to come home. New Belgium Brewery, maker of Fat Tire. New Belgium, they make it's called the 1554. It's a historic dark ale. Kind of comes out looking black, but it's a very, it's like a 5% beer, and it's just got a really nice flavor to it. It doesn't taste dark like it looks. I really enjoyed that one. So I'm going to go on to number four then. And the thing is, a lot of these beers are brewed just in Colorado Springs or in Colorado, and they just keep them there. They don't, you can't get them here. So this is just stuff to keep in mind if you get out to Colorado, I guess. Number four is Odell Brewing Company.
Okay.
Called this one is called Sippin' Pretty, and it was a guava lime sour, and it came out looking kind of pink, and just had just enough sour in it to taste good without being bitter, or not without being making you pucker up too much. It had a real nice balance to it between the guava and the lime, so I enjoyed that one. Number three. We're getting to the really good ones now. They're all good, but we went to a place called Gunslinger Brewery right in downtown Colorado Springs. Not a ton of people in there, but just the thing about Colorado Springs, everybody seemed really nice there too. I got to tip my cap to the people out there. I did a sampler, and honestly, they were all good. But the Gunslinger Red Volver Rye IPA is probably the best one that I had out of the four, and just a really nice balanced flavor. And I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say. I mean, you meet nice people everywhere out there. I think people are just happy. So maybe it's the air, maybe it's a little thin and stuff, but the guy comes back later and he goes, what'd you think of the beer? And I said, they were all good. And he goes, he just starts smiling and stuff. He starts patting me on the back as he walks away. And I'm like, people just don't do that kind of stuff everywhere. So I'm going to go to number two. And I think I may have told you about this one, Jeff, but we got this one. I had this one for lunch, I think the day before we left. And it's a Soulcraft Brewing Green Chili Ale. And you have to like green chilies. If you do, this is an excellent beer to try because it's got just enough, just a little green chili heat in it, but not enough to where it tastes hot. Just enough of that flavor, but it tastes like green chili. And I thought it was very well done. Then let's go to number one, Bristol Brewing. And if you get to Colorado Springs, check out Bristol Brewing. They They are in an old elementary school, Jeff, and they have a bunch of other stuff in there with them, like a pizza place, a bakery, a salad place, and gift shops. And you can go in and do all this other stuff. And then Bristol Brewing's down at the end, and you go down there and get your beers, and they do barbecue down there too. Just one of the coolest places I've seen. But they have a Bristol Brewing Blood Orange Beehive that's got the greatest orange flavor I've ever had in a beer. And that's my number one. So,
wow, cool.
That's
wow. Sounds like you had a great trip.
I had a great trip. Yeah, I tried a lot of great beers. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So,
cool.
And Jeremy's drinking a Land Shark tonight, and we're glad to be back, Jeremy, and good to have you with us, brother. So, so Jeff, we got a little bit of Brown stuff to talk about. We should probably get on with it here. So, and I went through the news. I was out a week, and honestly, I wasn't following everything real close. My phone kind of lit up when the Miles trade happened. A lot of people text me and stuff, and when that happened, but I may have missed a few things. So if we miss anything here, you let me know, okay? But I just kind of went maybe biggest story on down. So the Miles trade, the Browns give up Myles Garrett, and I think everybody knows the compensation. Jared Verse, a first, second, and a third, and that third, in successive seasons, that third turns into a first if the Rams trade Myles to somebody in the North, in the FC North, which that's not going to happen. So I've been talking a lot, Jeff. Let's get your thoughts on the trade. Right. What did you think when it happened? Did it surprise you? What do you think of the compensation? What do you think of Jared Verse? Turn it over to you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I apologize. It feels like I've got a really bad connect tonight, so I hope this is coming through not as choppy as it's sounding to me right now. I'm going to assume it's on my end, but so the Myles trade, we kind of expected this. It's something we've been talking about for a while. I don't think anybody should have really been caught off guard by it. When doing it on June 1st, obviously indicated that this is something that they've been leading up to for a really long time. Otherwise, why wait till June 1st, right? So I think the package was fair. If you look what you can reasonably expect to get for Myles Garrett, this is really a lot of compensation in my mind. It's some lottery tickets in future drafts, but it's also an established young player at the same position who, if we're being fair, he's never going to be Myles Garrett, but I think he can be a reasonably close approximation for us. And he's 5 years younger, money controlled for the next 3. The windows, everything aligns, going with a younger guy here. So I think it's just a trade that really made a lot of sense for both teams. That it took a long time to come to an agreement on. And it probably would not have happened with any other club, any other team in the NFL. The Rams just have a philosophy that worked for this sort of a deal, and they have a win now window that I think will hopefully give Myles a chance to win championships, which is what he wants to do. And I'm in favor of that. Good for him. But it also, I think, sets the Browns up for success over the next few seasons in terms of some more players that we can add with those assets, and having a younger player at that position right now who's a little bit more cost controlled. So it really does give us sort of a fresh start, with this young core that we have.
Yeah, I didn't realize until tonight that the Rams had signed Miles to this extension, 5 years, $208 million.
Yeah.
And I'm not all that worried about all the money and stuff. It comes down to Jared Verse isn't making a lot of money, even the next 3 seasons, and Miles is. So that gives the Browns a lot more flexibility.
Yeah.
To be able to do things with other players when they're ready to, and
Right.
the Rams have this huge contract with Miles that if it works for them, great.
Right.
It's I just look at not only because nobody's Miles. Nobody's Miles, and some people are trying to compare Jared Verse to Miles, and he doesn't want that. And that's not really fair to anybody to look at it that way. But I think if you look at Miles for what he's getting paid compared to Jared Verse for what he's getting paid, that makes it a little bit more fair, It's just I look at it that way, and then I kind of look at you've got Jared Verse, who is on the definite. He should still be on the upswing, right? He's 25. He's going to be 26 this season.
Oh yeah.
And you got Miles, who's 30, will be 31. Now, I'm not going to say Miles is on the downswing because we don't know. I did look at some stats for Bruce Smith and Reggie White, and those guys were both putting up pretty good sack numbers at the age of 33, which would be Miles' age when Jared Verse is in his last controlled season with the Browns. Those guys are still putting up 10, 15 sacks. So I don't expect a drop off with Miles in the next 3 seasons. I really don't. I mean, is he going to have 25 sacks next season? I don't know, but I don't expect him to drop down to 8 sacks in the next 3 seasons at all.
Right.
So I think you can kind of look at Miles' numbers as pretty much being fixed probably over the next 3 years or close to it. But you look at Jared Verse as probably, having room to grow over that period of time, and being, a lot more cost effective for the player.
I don't think the Rams are looking for Myles Garrett to set sack records. I think they're looking for him to have impact plays, like we've seen him have here.
Yeah.
Where in the moment he makes a game-altering play. That's really, I think, what will win them championships. Just pinning your ears back and going and getting sacks. It almost felt to me like this year they gave Miles a hunting license and said, go set the record. It's only going to increase your value in the trade market.
Right.
That doesn't necessarily lead to wins.
Yeah. It's out there that Miles didn't ask for a trade this season, but I can't help but feel like Miles was pretty good with this, like they talked about.
Yeah.
He was involved in this. Even if he didn't ask for it, they probably talked to him and said, hey, we're talking about this. And he was probably fine. And he's probably like, yeah, let's just keep it behind closed doors this time. It goes better for everybody. And let's get something done. What do you think the impetus was behind this trade, Jeff? The major impetus, was it just the aligning of the ages on the team? Is it the gathering of the assets to be able to go after a quarterback? or maybe something else?
Yeah, I think a lot went into this in terms of the whys, but the main driver I really think is the Rams' aggressiveness. That they were willing to do something that Andrew Berry probably couldn't have gotten done anywhere else. And that was meet all of his criteria. His criteria were he wanted a young player on the upswing at a premium position. He wanted draft capital, and I forget what the third leg that still was, but the Rams were able to meet all of his criteria. And I think if that had happened last year, you would have seen a trade last year. I just think it was a matter of timing had to be right, and the Rams had to be willing to part with Jared Verse, which they weren't up until apparently a couple weeks or so before the trade. So is it about assets and quarterbacks and all? Maybe, but realistically, Andrew Berry knows that this team isn't ready to win now. It's about building something for 28 and 29. So yeah, all those years have to line up. And as much as we loved having Miles here and the fact that he was the marquee name and the reason to go watch the team, by the time we're ready to win, by the time the rest of this group is in their prime, Miles would definitely probably be at the end of his career, and I think is what made the trade have to happen, and otherwise it was just timing.
Yeah, I think so. So something that a lot of people talked about was in evaluating this trade and the compensation. And I'm with you. I think the compensation's good, but that's after learning more about Jared Verse and just seeing him move a little bit and things like that. What do you think Jared Verse, the player, is worth if you could break him down to equal compensation and draft picks? Because there was this whole big talk about, is he worth a first? Is he worth 2 firsts and all this stuff?
Yeah. Well, look, he if you go back to the 24 draft, he was one of the top 2 ranked defensive end / edge players in that draft. I think he was the second one taken, if I remember correctly, around the 19th pick. A lot of people had him as a top 10 talent in that draft, but there were a ton of quarterbacks in that draft that went early. So he dropped down a little bit, but I think if you're trying to go get a young, established defensive end in the NFL, I mean, he's had he played 2 seasons, 2 Pro Bowls. He was D Rookie of the Year. If you went out to try to trade for somebody like that, you'd have to think that you're going to pay a premium for that guy, right? Even though he's not a big sack number guy, I would think that you'd have to give up a pretty substantial package to get it, and it would probably include a first and multiple picks, right? I think he's worth at least a first round pick plus, because he's a proven first round pick. The chances with a first round pick are still somewhat hit and miss, right? That first rounder next year that we got from the Rams, we're not guaranteed that's going to turn into a great player. It probably will, but Jared Verse we know is going to be a great player. I mean, he's, like I said, you're not going to have him setting sack record.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. If you look at it either as if you were going to go and try just to trade for him now,
he can be definitely a double-digit sack guy for us. Can have,
Yeah, no, I agree. If you were going to try to trade up to somewhere between 19
this connection
and 10.
is terrible, Rod. I feel like I'm back on Riverside.
Yeah, I know it's not. We're not aligning real well tonight, Jeff, but we'll do our best here. So we'll get through it. But hey, I'm with you, Jared Verse would be worth a first plus, whether you tried to trade for him now alone or tried to trade for him in the draft in 24 to move up. You weren't just going to trade a first round pick and get him. I'm with you definitely. Verse only jumped offside one time last season. Penalty was declined. Okay. Yeah. That's a plus, Jeremy.
Good.
And first and then some with production and age. What would teams spend on Schlesinger? Carson Schlesinger would be. If Carson Schlesinger was in a draft, he would obviously go very high now. To trade for him, it'd be a lot.
Good point, Jeremy.
Yeah, definitely. So Jeff, do you think Denzel Ward is next? Do you think he'll be traded before the season or during the season, or not at all?
Denzel says he wants to be here, so I don't know. It's interesting because I don't think he's got a lot of guaranteed money left, right?
I don't know. I'll be honest.
I'm not sure where his contract is, but what are the advantages in terms of saving cap space, et cetera? I haven't really dove into that at this point. If you're just talking about the player, not the contract or any of those implications, I like having him here. I don't know that moving him for whatever asset you could get for him at this point in his career is as valuable as having him on the team right now. Just from a leadership standpoint, I think they need somebody.
Absolutely. I'm with you because you have all these young players. You need at least a few veterans to provide leadership. You can't just say, "Oh, Carson Schlesinger is our leader," and Quinshawn Judkins is our leader. Harold Fannon's our leader. And these guys are still young guys. You need some vets on the team who are positive guys, guys that'll still take guys under their wing and help them along. And I mean, Denzel's that kind of guy, I think. So, I think you have to have somebody. And I think it goes to the compensation too. If you can really get a lot for Denzel, if a team comes knocking at your door, before the trade deadline and says, "I'll give you, a first and a second next, in the 27 draft for Denzel right now," I think you're taking it. If teams are offering if they're offering a third or a fourth rounder, you're just like, we don't need that.
No. Yeah. And again, I think that depends on where those teams are sitting relative to the playoffs and potential injuries that, where they lose a key player. Maybe somebody comes knocking on your door and says, "Hey, we really could use a number one corner that we think would get us to the Super Bowl." Then maybe the conversation is worth having at that point, right? But I think Denzel, not only from a leadership standpoint, but on Sundays, Denzel is a tone setter. We've talked about it many times, that when Denzel has a big game, the defense plays at a different level. And that's something that all of these guys need to learn. They need to see how they can impact the game on a week in and week out basis. We really know it when Denzel's not on the field, right? So I hope that he finishes his career here. If somebody just wows Andrew Berry at the trade deadline, I will fully understand if that move is made. But otherwise, I don't see an urgency to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So while we're talking about Denzel and leaders, who would the other veteran leaders be on this team right now, Jeff? I mean, Grant Delpit's been around for a while, and I don't
Yeah.
know if he's in that. I don't know if he's in that same arena with Denzel as a guy who could possibly be traded, around the deadline or not. You don't want him just unloading everybody, but yeah, I can't even think who else has been around for very long that that would actually be a leader on this team. Maybe some of the veteran defensive line guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Jared Muller wrote an article that, there's 2 guys in their 30s on this team now, and 50 guys that are 25 or younger or something. I mean, it's a really young team.
Yeah.
You're going to get your leadership from young guys, I think.
You have to.
Maybe somebody like Quincy Williams, who's new, but Quincy, he's a vet, and he could be that vocal voice. I don't know. He's got history with Mike Ruttenberg, so on offense, I don't know. Right now on offense, we are so young. I don't think you look at Jerry Jeudy as a leader.
He's like the only guy who's been in the league for more than 2 years.
Well, yeah, Deshaun Watson certainly isn't going to be a leader.
Never has been.
So maybe some of your linemen that you brought in. Yeah, I don't know. There really is a wide open opportunity for some of these second-year players to become the leaders.
Okay. We wish. Yeah, we wish. But I think the linebacker
Gabriel is wearing JOK's number now.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
that should tell you everything you need to know about where JOK's career is.
It's a shame, but I mean, the linebacking core appears to be in pretty good hands right now. Not that we wouldn't love to have JOK out there, but yeah. So Jeff, Joel Bitonio finally announced his retirement. I think everybody knew this was coming. 7 Pro Bowls, 5 All-Pros, 2 first team, 3 second team. Does he have a shot at the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I think he's right there on the cusp. It's just really hard to make the Hall of Fame as a guard, and body of work wise, he probably should be, but
he just hasn't won enough Super Bowls as a guard, because guards have so much control over how many Super Bowls you win.
Right?
Darn it, he just didn't try hard enough as a guard to win those Super Bowls.
Playing his whole career in Cleveland probably isn't going to help his case.
No, it's not. It's not. I was looking at guards and in the Hall, and I pulled it up, and I found this table of all the top rated guards, and it's this numerical thing that somebody put together, which has a listing of Pro Bowls, first team All Pros, and Super Bowls wins. And they worked that into a numerical formula, and guys that scored over 100, most of them are in the Hall, and guys, below that, some of them are in, and as you go down, less and less guys are in, and Joel Bitonio is at like a 50. Okay.
Yeah.
I think is it John Mackey? I think is the lowest rated guy, and he's at like a 56 or something. The lowest rated guard in the Hall, based on that system, which has nothing to do with the film or how well a guy played.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a lot of the Clay Matthews story.
Same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Great player for our organization, but it may take a while if it ever happens.
Yeah, he's got a shot, but they honestly, we'll see if the Hall of Fame ever changes anything as far as how they elect guys. I mean, there's such a backlog, so many guys that are deserving to get in, and then
Yeah.
you get guys that come out and get in on their first year, and I'm not complaining about that because there are guys that are deserving. But
Sure.
all that does is pushes other guys back that should have been in 10, 15 years ago because they only let so many guys in each year. And it's
Right.
like, you should do something about that. They really should. Because anybody that looks at Clay's numbers or just I probably Joel is going to be in that same boat. Not numbers, but just the way he played and the respect that people in the league had for him when he was playing.
Yeah.
They should be there, but you don't know how long it's going to take. If or when it's going to happen.
Right.
So
yeah.
So Jeff, Casey Concepcion finally signed. Gosh, I was wondering if that was going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah, that's all we got to say about that.
Right.
Did you see the guys with the Cleveland for Christ? It's honestly just good to see good stuff happening with the players. I'm not going to jump on a soapbox or anything, but it's just a very, very positive thing when we're used to seeing so many negative things about athletes.
Right.
Just real positive for the guys to be involved in that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Jared Verse's comments while you were gone in his initial press conference and stuff, but some of the things that he said about the team and the players out on the field and in the practices and stuff just led me to believe that the vibe is different. That the work ethic is there and that the team building is working.
Yeah.
So, it's early days, but it feels like all of those things are lining up to really sort of change the vibe, to put a lot of that negativity behind this organization. And God, finally, I hope. And then, in the next breath, we hear things from Wyatt Teller about how, he was making business decisions last year and trying to keep some tread on the tires for next year and stuff. And I'm thinking, you're in a contract year and you just admitted that you didn't give your all for a team.
Yeah.
What does that tell the organization? What does that tell your teammates?
Yeah, and he was complaining about it. His wife was complaining about it on social media about him not playing all the time. It was justified.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
There's just been too many cases of this over the years, Rod. Where and I think Denzel was guilty of it a few years ago. Grant Delpit was guilty of it at one point. We've seen all of these guys go through these periods, and I don't understand why however many millions of dollars you're making can't motivate you to go out there and give 100% all the time. And that's one thing you can say about Joel Bitonio. He gave 100% every play.
Well, he learned from a guy named Joe Thomas too. I mean, not that Joel Bitonio wouldn't have done it anyways, but that was the culture when he came in, and that was the line that he played on when he came in. That's what those guys did, and he kept that up through his whole career. So I can't speak as to how much of an impact that had on Joel, but you wonder if that culture, kept him on the field for all those snaps, whereas if if they had some crap offensive line and guys taking plays off all the time, if Joel wouldn't have been quite the same player if he was shown that, oh, it's a lot easier if you just, hey, you're hurting, yeah, just go over and sit on the bench. I mean, that's not how guys did it when he started with the Browns.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope these guys make the Hall of Fame. I am so sick and tired of the ring counting that guys only get in if they win Super Bowls. I mean, there are so many guys on a football team. You get overload on guys making the Hall from winning teams. You get too many guys in from winning teams. Guys that, and I'm not going to name any names or anything, but there are guys in the Hall of Fame because they won multiple Super Bowls being on a good team who probably are not as good as guys who are not in the Hall.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much luck of the draw or luck of the draft where they ended up. Okay? You tell me some wide receivers that are in the Hall because they got drafted by certain teams and won 2, 3 Super Bowls, that those guys are better than guys that just didn't end up being in the right place at the right time and winning a Super Bowl. It makes no sense. I think you have to look at the whole body of work and judge these guys more as individuals than just counting rings. Anybody can count rings, and it's the weakest argument for the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Yeah. Can't disagree with that.
Another positive, Jeff, is the way Quinshawn Judkins looks.
Right.
Injury? What injury? Hey, can you believe it? I mean, seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they said it was going to be a 5-month recovery, and I mean, he's right on schedule. So that's awesome. He looks explosive and fast, and God knows we need that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely bodes well for the. I'm just going to say for the team. I think we've talked a little bit about the vets. So, what have I missed, Jeff? What else happened while I was?
Well, the Browns actually signed a guy while you were out, Marquise Watts, defensive end / linebacker.
Okay. Yeah.
3 or 4 year veteran. And then about a week and a half later, he retired. So
okay, that's what
I don't know what happened there, but yeah.
How did that align with the trade? Did they sign him before or after the trade? It was after, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how that timed out. He might have, he might have been here at the time of the trade, and then when Verse came in, he said, "Nah, let me get."
He felt better being behind Miles than being behind Verse.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he was leaning that way.
I'm not sure what happened there, but yeah, wow. I mean, there's a lot of guys in that room, all fighting for one spot. I think maybe he took a look at the talent around him and thought, "Geez, I don't have much of a chance." Yeah, or maybe he was just tired. Maybe he just wanted to go home.
Maybe. The defensive line obviously takes a little step back when you trade Miles, but how do you feel about the defensive line right now and the depth, in that? I mean, to me, I mean, you don't expect the line to be as good with Miles gone, but to me, it's like if you get 80 or 90% of what you got last year or somewhere in that range, out of the total as a whole, and other parts of your defense play well, you can still be pretty damn good.
Yeah. there's for me there's two real big question marks. Number one is the depth piece that whoever ends up winning that, well, maybe fourth and fifth spot. Okay, right now I'm looking at the fifth spot, but probably the fourth and or fifth spot in terms of defensive ends. We've got a ton of them, right? What we get out of that young guy, even though it's not going to be a ton of snaps, will determine moves in the future. You know what I'm saying? Do we need to go out and find somebody else?
Yeah.
Because Alex McGuire is in his last year of his contract, or excuse me, Isaiah McGuire. Alex Wright has had some injury history. That's the other big question. Everybody needs to stay healthy, right?
Yeah.
So if
you're
all
gonna
these
have
guys
any
stay,
rotation there, you need some health. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So in terms of the two starters, I feel good as long as they stay healthy, and the depth I feel okay about as long as we get the contribution that we think we're going to get out of those back end guys, and that's just a matter of picking the right guy in camp to keep out of a ton of potential guys.
Yeah, you. I think when we talked after the trade, you were kind of still going back to the draft and saying, how kind of surprising the Browns probably knew this was coming and they still didn't draft a young defensive end, and they had a lot of choices. I mean, how? I mean. They could have taken one. How many different spots, Jeff? I mean, how big of a mistake do you feel that was?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess time will tell, right? I'm not going to complain about them taking two wide receivers.
No.
Because they needed to do that. The board fell to where they could do that and get two really outstanding complementary receivers. So I'm not going to complain about that. If things had gone differently, it would have made a lot of sense to pick up another guy on the D line there. But yeah, anywhere in the draft, they could have probably taken somebody else. Now, how much better chance would I've had than all of these UDFAs that we brought in? I don't know. That's a quantify. Maybe they felt good enough about the UDFAs to say they've got as good a chance at contributing as somebody we would have taken in the third, fourth, or fifth round.
That's possible,
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So, I mean, for this year, you're not expecting to win a lot of. I think got enough. And they should hold up. They're it's not going to be the defensive line that we've seen in the past because you just don't replace Myles Garrett. But I think with what you have on the inside now, I think Kalia Davis is an important piece. To plugging those holes if Malik Collins misses time. And I think Jared Verse's ability to play the run game is probably the most undersold aspect of this whole trade. When he was drafted, that was the knock on him, was that he wasn't strong in the run game, and he has completely turned that around.
He's strong in the run game. Yeah.
So we should be better against the run. I just don't think our sacks and pressures will necessarily be as high. We're still going to pressure the passer, I think, but we're just not going to have the game-wrecking sacks, out of that group that we have become accustomed to.
Well, I think we know that defense is not just about sacks. I mean, if Rutenberg can come in and make this defense opportunistic, and get some
Right.
turnovers, that can be.
Well, yeah.
That could be end up being a lot bigger than having sack totals.
For sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We would definitely take that.
I think that almost has to be the direction with the Emmanuel McNeil Warren added, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Certain safety in the draft.
Is he talking about Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Jeff? Oh no, they took him.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the guy that he really liked. I think he plays in the South somewhere now.
Somewhere in the South. We're gonna get Jeremy. We'll give you a big star for that comment, Jeremy.
Texas somewhere.
Big star. We're gonna buy you a hat too. Got a big star on it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, most of the news seems to be pretty positive out of camp. Guys looking good, guys moving good. I don't really want to waste time talking about the QBs because that's going to play itself out. So, and we'll see what happens.
Right.
The Sorsby stuff, Jeff, about the fact that he is going to be eligible for this season. I was of the mindset that probably worth putting a bid in, a relatively high bid in the supplemental draft for him if the gambling stuff checked out. Supplemental. Yeah. If that's not what I said.
Yeah.
Anyways, if the Browns were satisfied with what they found out about the gambling, but they don't have to worry about that now. It's good for Sorsby to go back. It adds another quarterback into the 27 draft that the Browns could possibly have a shot at, and they've got more assets now.
Right.
It also allows the Browns to not have to worry about another quarterback entering the picture in 26.
Right.
So I think you can just look at who you've got now, and to me, it still only makes sense to play one guy this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you play the other guy, but anyways, then you can see how your quarterbacks shake out for 27, and
sure.
Any other thoughts on that stuff? I mean, man, that's gotten so much press. Nobody knew who Sorsby was a few weeks ago.
Right. There's been a lot of opinions about the gambling stuff and the punishments and everything. And I've kind of gone back and forth on this a little bit because I've been really vocal about the fact that Pete Rose was, I thought, unfairly treated. Yes, you had to make a statement, but I thought the punishment exceeded the crime with Pete. Just kicking him out of baseball, just kicking him out of playing and managing was plenty of punishment for him. Keeping him out of the Hall of Fame, I thought was ridiculous. Brendan Sorsby, it's hard to compare those two because he's a kid. I mean, Pete Rose was a grown man. He was a manager, right? Brendan Sorsby, he was a kid. And we're in a completely different time period now where gambling is viewed differently. Gambling is part of the fabric of all of our sports now. Where in Pete's day, you had to have a bookie. You had to go to Vegas or Atlantic City, or you had to have a bookie. Right. It was all under the table. Where today, you got 10 apps on your phone.
Yeah, everybody's almost. I mean, everybody that follows sports has these apps, whether you use them all the time or not. Almost everybody's used them.
Yeah, I mean, I know people who barely look up from their app. I mean, it's very addictive, right?
Yeah.
And that's part of what they're trying to do. That's why they give you free money to go play. They want to hook you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, for him to come out, for Sorsby to come out and say, "Hey, I got addicted to this, and I did some things I shouldn't have done." Okay, he took ownership of it. He went and got treatment for it. Is it going to continue to be a problem? Well, who knows? Maybe, maybe he's going to have an issue again in his career, right? Guys fall off the wagon. But I think from football's perspective, the best thing was for him to go back to college. Because now he gets another year to reset. He can reset at Texas Tech. He can come out in the 27 draft, and hopefully everybody will feel better about where things sit at that point from his perspective, right? And he'll still hopefully be viewed as one of the top prospects. Now, what does that mean for us? I think you have to wait and see how that draft plays out. But
yeah,
like you said, at least it puts another quarterback in the pecking order, which either we are interested in him or we're not. But if somebody else is interested in him, that means someone's going to drop to us. So either way, I think it helps us, right? And the most important thing for us with the quarterback position is not who plays this year or any of that. It's that whatever quarterback we go with in 27 has a clear path to starting. If that's Shador or whoever it is, if we draft somebody, they need to have a clear path to being our franchise quarterback. And nobody looking over their shoulder and nobody splitting first team reps with them. It needs to be a clear path. And I think that's what we're leading up to.
Yeah, and we have to face the facts that if Sorsby is one of the best quarterbacks in college football this year, he's going to be drafted high.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he might drop some.
It's going to happen. He might not be the first pick if he's the best quarterback, or if he's the third best quarterback, he might get taken as the fourth or fifth best quarterback, but he's going to get drafted high. Okay. People, unless there's more that comes out about the gambling, if it appears that he's moved on and just playing football well, teams are going to take a chance on a QB because it's a quarterback.
Correct.
It's the one position where I think people, teams are most willing to take a shot. Okay. Yeah. So I want to get to a few of the comments here. You guys are the best. No, you're the best, Jeremy. Thank you. Anyways, let's see here. Talk about Bond and why he will steal Jerry Jeudy's job. James, it could happen. I mean, or Jerry Jeudy could actually have a decent season. I mean, we'll wait and see. I mean, honestly, I don't think either Jeff or I are huge Jerry Jeudy fans right now, but we could kind of see it going either way this season. I do like Isaiah Bond, though. I just don't know how many. It's going to be interesting to see how many snaps and targets he gets this year. So we'll see about that. Jeremy doesn't want
Isaiah Bond had a really good offseason.
Yeah. Didn't hear anything about him. Yeah. Okay. Well,
that's a hard guess.
Yeah, James, the thing is, you don't have to keep Shador. You don't have to pass on Sorsby and keep Shador. You can do it individually now. You can see what you have in Shador this season, and then you can evaluate Sorsby after the season. If you need to. If Shador plays great this season, then we don't need to evaluate Sorsby.
Right.
Jeremy wears 14. That's Pete. That's Pete Rose's number. For anybody that's not aware, where's that for his dad and Pete? And Jeremy. No more reaching for a quarterback with issues. Well, we'll just have to see about that, Jeremy.
Yeah. You know
until
what?
we have a quarterback, until you find a quarterback, you're looking for a quarterback. That's just, you either have a quarterback or you don't. And right now, we don't know if we have a quarterback or not.
That's why Patrick Mahomes with a shredded knee just got a contract extension for $500 million.
Yeah. Yep, and why almost every
because
other
teams
team
don't have quarterbacks.
Yeah. That's the most sought after position in sports. It just is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not getting C.J. Stroud. Didn't the Texans extended him, didn't they? I thought.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, did we cover it all, Jeff?
Maybe we could sign Baker Mayfield. He's having trouble getting a contract out of Tampa.
Yeah. Would you be in favor of that, Jeff?
Possibly.
We could do a lot worse.
I mean,
we've done a lot worse.
Baker now is not the Baker that he was when he was here.
No,
it's
not.
When you're trying to solve the quarterback problem, and we've done everything humanly possible to solve it, and it hasn't worked. Yeah. You have to entertain every possibility.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know what the salary cap looks like now after the Miles trade, anything like that. So, no.
Yeah, I mean, we can afford to go out and pay a quarterback. If it came down to us needing to make a move like Seattle did for Sam Darnold, after the 26th season, after we've let all those cap charges go with Watson and Miles, I think all that stuff will clear up after 27, really. But I think even in 27, we're probably looking at 28 before we'd make a move like that. But
it's close.
Seattle did it, and they won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that if we have everything else in place?
Yeah. I'm here for it. Whatever it takes.
Right.
Let's see. One more. Baker would be Super Bowl Super Browns. We love Super Bowl Super Browns, but yeah, it's a little bit early for that, Jeremy. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
See what happens. The quarterback position is something we can always talk about until it gets resolved.
Right.
F1. So.
Yeah. Okay. I just can't wait to see Taylor Green under center.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, we appreciate all the comments tonight. It's been fun getting back at it after what seemed like a long hiatus, which was only a couple weeks. But yeah, it's strange how things happen when you take a week off when nothing's going on before that.
Yeah.
So
all of a sudden the floodgates open.
Yeah. So thanks for jumping in on the comments, guys. Jeff, is there anything else, or are you ready for some closing thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really have anything closing tonight. I'm just glad to be back, and glad things are looking up for us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna reset every electronic device I have in the house, and hopefully we'll have a better connection next week.
I will probably do the same just in case any of it's on my end.
I think it's my end.
Log out and log back in and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all right. Yeah, that's going to do it for us. We are part of the Fanatical Elves Network. If you guys are not following or subscribing, please do so. You can do that on YouTube, on TikTok, and on X. That's at Elves Network. This has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.